Hey everybody. Sorry I am dreadfully late today, but that's just how it goes. Miranda's got to get back here. That's all I have to say. How's everybody doing today? I am well. I'm a little flushed because I'm fresh off of my fast walk this morning. Janice is on her way to California, not to see me, but to see friends, to have her grandbaby, see everybody graduate, all kinds of really good stuff. So, yes, so we were checking in. I was checking earlier in with Emily. I was rearranging stuff on the homepage. So there was a lot to do. My mom is here. She's finishing the last of the Malaga kits. Whoops, things are falling. The last of the Malaga kits to be sent out. So if you haven't received your shipping notification, I bet you will get one today. All right. Woo! Everyone's saying hello to you, Gwenda.
Yes, and tell everybody that I touched every one of the Malaga.
Yes, every one of those Malaga mixes, my mama has packaged and put in the things. So a big thank you, a big help for that. So thank you, Gwen, for doing that.
Except if there's any with mistakes.
Yes, if there's any with mistakes, she didn't do it. So perfect. She didn't do it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I need to get one more thing for my glasses to make sure that they're clean. And we are going to jump in. So I thought I would work with the monthly mix today. Oh, and before I get started, a big thank you to Emily for doing the moderating today. Thanks, Em. She'll be with us today and Friday, and I think maybe even next week. Because Janice isn't back until next Thursday. So she's going to have a nice little break. She'll still be working behind the scenes. You know, when we have days off, we still do a little work. So safe travels to you, JP. A big thank you to you, Emily. Gosh, my desk is I still have stuff from Friday's show. Miranda is having a great time at her brother's graduation, but I'll tell you, I'm ready for her to get her purple-haired booty back here. But she's having a great time, and we were texting yesterday, so it's great to be able to have a little bit of time off. Oh good, Lorraine, you got your notification yesterday. Yes, so the rest hopefully you should be getting your notifications today. So it's great. It's great to get that done. So a couple of things coming up on the agenda. Let me tell you. One, I can't ever get these glasses clean. Can you ever get your glasses clean? It is the worst. Two things. Friday, we have another mix. Janice and I have done another fancy mix. It's not fancy. It's just another seed bead mix. It's a shape that we don't carry. And we thought we would add it in. Just as a mix to see how you folks like it. We may add them because we love them. I know Emily loves them. Emily has a project that's coming up soon that would be perfect with it. Emily says she washes her glasses with Dawn. Emily, I do too. Maybe it's just between that time and the time that I come and sit down. There we go. I think it's better. I think that's better. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just going to roll with it. So let me tell you what it is. It is triangles. And we are doing a group of 12. And it's in the short tubes, the 10 gram tubes like we did with Malaga. Do you have a Malaga over there, Gwenda, that's done?
No.
No. Okay. All right. I'll
Later.
show you later.
Later.
So it's triangles, and we've put out a really beautiful, it's like just a really great color shade, I think. So, pardon me. I hope you folks will like it. I think it's a good one. So that's coming for pre-sale on Friday, and it will ship in about 3 weeks. It'll have to ship definitely before I go to France. So that's doing. We have I have confirmation. Free to Kit will be coming next week. My buddy Laura, who's so good at putting these kits together, she is taking pity on us and coming next week to help me finish putting those together. So you will see those next week for a Saturday stitch in, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So that's what's going on here. I also had a great bead extravaganza meeting yesterday with all of our compatriots. We're super excited. We've got a bunch of really fun plans for the Great Bead Extravaganza. The dates for the Great Bead, let me tell you, are, and I'm going to start putting it in the newsletter. The TGBE starts with preview night on Friday, July 18th. But what you're going to want to do is you are going to mark your calendars. I'll have it in the newsletter. Okay. And in the 2-week run up, because we're not having a special guest this time. Summer was just too busy for all of our special guests. So we are all the special guests. So we're doing a run up to the Great Bead Extravaganza where every day, starting Monday, I think it's the 7th or whatever, two of your Great Bead Extravaganza participants, companies, will come on. It's going to be at the same time every day. I think it's going to be around 3:30 Pacific, so that's 6:30 Eastern. And we're going to chat, kind of interview each other. It's going to be fun. So we're going to call it A Trip Around the World with the Great Bead Extravaganza company. So it's going to be really fun. We'll do a little kind of in-depth kind of, chat, about a half hour long, but it'll be a really fun run-up. We're all really excited about the Great Bead Extravaganza. And if you're not familiar with it, or if you haven't watched it, it's something we get together. There's 10 of us companies. We get together 4 times a year and we put on an online bead show where we do demos for 2 solid days. It's a lot of fun. It started back in the pandemic in 2020 and we've been going strong ever since. So it's a real joy. It's a real fun weekend. I have what I think is going to be a really fun project for you folks. Last time we did bead embroidery and you guys loved it. This time I'm switching gears. I think I am going to focus on knotting and gemstone knotting. I've got a bunch of really cool like rounds and stuff that are going to be coming in. So I'm still formulating the ideas, but I think you're going to love it. I hope you do. I hope you do. So anyway, so that's the news on the Great Bead Extravaganza. Oh, it's so great. Thank you folks so much for your kind words about the Great Bead. We were talking a little bit yesterday, also all of us companies and stuff, and a little bit about the biz and a little bit about what's going on. And we all really are dedicated to bringing you the best of the best, to keep doing the best we can as small businesses, keep putting great content out there for you. So we're really, really grateful for all of your support and love. So yeah, so that's what's going on. We're gonna have so much fun. Thank you for your kind words about this. This is actually a dress. I'll show you one of the dresses I made a while back. I love sewing. I'm a big sewing fan. See, there's the skirt right there. It's going to be really, really it's a really fun one to make. I'm working on some other me-made items because we are going to be sewing in France. I hope we'll see how the Wi-Fi is. I hope to bring you some of the content when I'm over there and sewing and sharing that stuff with you. This pattern, in case you were wondering, it's called Nanny Lee, Nani Lee, Lee, and it's by a pattern designer named Tina Gibbons. So yeah, it was really fun. This is just quilting cotton that I got a while back, but it has a definite vintage vibe to it, which is really, really fun. Super easy to make too. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, all right. So I think that's everything I have to tell you. I cannot put it off any longer. We have to get to this project. So let me show you. My mom can attest, when she was here yesterday, I was kind of faffing around a bit, trying to figure out what the heck I was going to do today. And I really wanted to focus on and to share our June monthly mix with you. And I didn't want to fall back on, like, this is 10-aught delicas, right? The 10-aught delicas are amazing. Let me highlight this one right here. And thank you, someone who was it back there, Sherry, thank you so much. I appreciate your heads up on your glasses cleaners. I'm going to look at those. She says she uses Zeiss eyeglass wipes. So they've got to be good because I am fighting it all the time. Oh, that is super, super sweet, my friend. Love is all there is, saying just hearing your voice, so calming to my frayed nerves. You know what? I think, my friend, all of our nerves are a little bit frayed for a myriad of reasons, right? So all we can do is just do our best, right? We're going to do our darndest to just keep spreading and creating joy, right? That's what we're going to do.
And have another drink.
Yeah, but not
Cocktail.
Another cocktail, but not quite yet, Gwenda. It's not quite noon. That's what happens. My mom shows up and it all goes to hell in a handbasket. And by 3:00, we're just going to be,
That's not.
Well, she's the one who brought it up. Anyways, let me talk to you a little bit about this first. And let me talk to you a little bit about the idea behind this monthly mix. And then we're going to play around with it. So the monthly mix, as you know, for 2025, we decided to use movies as our inspiration for the monthly mix. And this movie is one of our favorites. Janice chose this one because it's actually one of her favorites. It's Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And if you haven't seen Priscilla, it's a great watch. I don't know what year the movie was from. I think it was in the mid-90s, 98 maybe. It won the Best Costuming Oscar. And the woman who did the costuming, and I think it's in the description. I'm sorry I don't have it right to mind, but she wore that dress that she made out of gold cards. Remember the American Express gold cards, and she made that really cool dress out of it, right? Well, and she's the one who won the Oscar for it. So that was really, really cool.
1994.
94? Really?
Well,
Wow. Wow. Time flies. It also kind of started the career of Hugo Weaving. There's a lot of great, it's such a classic.
Fun movie.
Yeah, it's a fun romp for sure. And so we took that as our inspiration. We also loved so much, you remember, and I'm kind of looking around for it and I don't see it. I thought I put it here, but no surprise because everything is such a mess. Danielle did that great window pane mosaic bracelet, right? And the window pane mosaic was really, it's a great peyote stitch. She did that really special um, mix for it. So this would make a great window pane. And you can see, I linked it in the newsletter a couple of days ago. And I think it's on the homepage right now. But it's a great, great project for this. I also, this is, remember when Emily did that bangle bracelet, when she did this mix? And she did hers with bead crochet. So you could do it with bead crochet. I instead did mine. I strung the beads on wire and I wrapped it around 4 millimeters, right? Like this, or 4 millimeter leather is what I used. So, and I think this is under boho bangle in the on the website. So you could also do something like this. I love it. I love this. You could also do the bead crochet. Emily did that really beautiful one. I'm trying to see. I was showing some bracelets the other day, but I think I might have put them back in the wrong place. So no surprise. So I don't know where Emily's is, but mine is there, and you can see it. So the 10-aughts in the Delicas are a lot of fun to work with. They really are quite a bit larger, than the 11s. You don't think so, but then you put them side by side, and you're all, hey, wait a minute. This is one of Emily's bead crochet pieces, right? Yeah, it was confetti mix. That's right. Yeah, it looks great. So this one was the crochet that Emily did. This was, again, just the wire that I wrapped around. Kind of has a similar look, a little different. This is a bead crochet that I did 1 billion years ago. This is 6/aughts right here. And then this is the channel bangle that I did with the flat peyote stitch. This is the 11-aught. So you would have to do a little bit of, figuring to go from the 11-aught Delica to the 10-aught Delica, but you could play around with it, right? So there's a lot of projects that you could do with it. These are all Delica colors that are exclusive to the mix. We may add some of them. You folks are still loving these 10-aughts, so thankfully. Here's another one that I haven't finished, but I want to get this one finished too, because I just love these bangles. If you love these brass bangles, we just restocked them. That is the last of these bangles that we're going to be able to get, because unfortunately the company that's making them, these are just getting too costly for them to produce. So I hope to source them from someplace else. We'll see. But if you love them, it's time. Now's the time while we have plenty in stock to grab them. I just love them, love them, love them. Emily and I were also talking about some beads. We do carry some of the beads that you can embellish around, but I hope to have more styles of those in as well. Okay. All right. So let me show you what I'm going to work on. So I'm not falling back on peyote stitch or brick stitch, though there's nothing wrong with that. I've been kind of in a peyote brick stitch kind of extravaganza lately, right? But I thought I'd do something a little different. Do you remember back when, and let me see, I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I was looking for the project. But let me grab it. No, the bangles, we may be able to get them in silver. These are natural brass that we are selling. but they would need to be plated. Depending on the resource, if I find some, I'm not adverse to getting them plated. It will, of course, drive up the cost a bit. But they'd be fun to have them plated. Now that I screenshot that, there we go. I've got to make my way back to the, let me see. Let me put this up. This is Emily's chain necklace, and it was called Isabel. And it's such a beautiful necklace. It's coming here. It's so lush. And I was really inspired by this. So the technique that I'm doing today, I'm going to do some earrings. But the technique that I'm doing today, you could also incorporate Emily's Isabel idea with it, and just add some of those seed beads down into the chain section. It's really a luscious, it's kind of, I think it's a great, great, great piece for summer. So let me show you. Let me check the comments here real quick. Yeah, Becky does plate the ones that we carry from Becky, the beads and stuff, those have all been plated. The plating quality is excellent, right? Oh, Lorena, I love this question. No, I was punk rock new wave girl. I was class of 84, so I was a little later than that. But Janice, I don't know if Janice was a disco diva. I think she was definitely had her fun times in the Bay Area and at Berkeley. Ellen, I agree. I love that necklace. I think about it too. I think it would be really beautiful in a bunch of different chains. You could add some beads. And we've talked about plating for forever. We know a really great plater back east that we could contact, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's, so we'll see. We'll see what we find. We're always on the hunt for sure. So let me show you what I'm going to make. I grabbed these components. This is the Open Lotus link. And I thought that they would be perfect for an earring. You could also do this as a pendant, right? But I pulled some of the different chains. I've got this one. This is Endless Love. And I grabbed some shiny and some antique. This one is the 2 lanterns. And this one is Paperclip in medium. Now, again, I need to unwrap it here. Again, I don't want to make these super heavy, but I tolerate heavier earrings pretty well. You could also use thinner chain or less chain or whatever, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of a waterfall or a cascade. I think you can use this technique on a lot of different things. And I'm going to cascade some of the delicas right here. And then I'm going to add the chain. Okay. So I've gotten some micro Ceylon, and I grabbed the micro just because it was here, right? And because it was easy to grab. You could use fine Ceylon if you wanted. You could use KO. You could really use anything that you want. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, first I need some snips. I'm going to make a self needle on the end of these. So it'll be pretty fast to string, though I could maybe use a bead spinner. What do you think, Emily? Should I use a bead spinner? Maybe I should. Hang on. I'll let you look at this. Let me see if my bead spinner is right here, because we're going to be using a bead spinner soon. on Emily's project. Let me just grab it. I don't know why I didn't think of that beforehand. I've got one up there. We also have they sent us a battery-powered one to try out. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. But let's see. This guy right here. Hold, please. And I think the needles, yep, the needles are in here. So let me see. Let me see if I can manage this. Right? I can do it, Em. Right? Let me open it up. If you don't have a bead spinner, I would get one. Right? They're really super handy. It's how Emily strung everything so fast for her bead crochet, right? If you want a good primer on how to use a bead spinner, that bead crochet episode is a great one. I have this sample that they sent me, so I'm just going to take it out. Where are my needles? It says the needles should be in here. I don't see them. Let me see. The thread color, you know, I got this thread out of my thread box. I can guess what it is. Emily, do you want to just go to the Fine Ceylon and see if there are some that kind of match that? Because to be honest, I'm not sure if these are even ones that we still have in stock, but I know we have something close. Yeah, and here are the needles. I just have to open this up. Bear with me here just a second while I do that, and hopefully I don't cut myself while I'm slashing this open. Hold, please. But the bead spinner, you know, I had one of these way, way back in the day, and I used it for a bit. Yeah, Capri. I bet this blue is Capri. We have Capri in the micro, don't we? I used it way back in the day. I know a lot of you who do Kumahimo and stuff like that use it. It's really helpful to get things strung really fast. Emily, have you ever used it on seed beads that are larger, like 8/0? I bet you could, right? Well, I guess these were 8/0 here. Were they, or were those 11s? Those were 8s, I think. Maybe 6s. I don't know. I have to kind of play around with my bead spinner a little bit more. Sorry, this bag is not opening up. What a pain. I should have. There we go. I didn't realize I was going to use it. Whoops. See, this is what I'm wrestling with to try and get it off. No, I think if I can just snip it. You don't see me doing this with my wire cutters, everybody. You really don't. There you go. Almost there. I'm just going to pull it off. I know it's a little like watching paint dry, but thank you for sticking with me.
It's kind of like life a little bit. Sometimes things are hard to get open.
Yeah, and this one, at least you know it's safely wrapped, right? Oh, come on. I'm just going to get it. Come on. I'm in charge of you. There we go. All right. Okay, here it is. Oh, great. And I'm going to put up Emily's. Emily says the bead spinner will work on any size and even a mix of shapes. But you may have to do a little manual correction for mixed sizes and shapes. That's awesome. I love it. Okay. So I am going to use this micro. Let me move everything out of the way. I'm going to put these in And I need to put quite a few beads in there, right? Should I put the whole tube in? I think I should. Let me take that off.
That is a beautiful mix.
It is a beautiful mix. I do love it. There we go. All right. So that's the whole tube, all the tube. Okay. So the Priscilla mix is in there. This is the 10-aught right here. Okay. Now I'm going to string. These are the needles that come with it. So I'm just going to leave my Ceylon connected. What? What's so funny?
I'm worried. I think you should have practiced this.
I know. Well, you know me. I don't practice. I just do it. If I had time to practice, wouldn't that be amazing?
A concert pianist.
I know, right? I would. But let's needle that thread. I can do it.
Back to work.
Yeah, get back to work, Ma. Stop doubting my prowess here, my skills. Come on, you can tell everybody about how I jumped off the high dive. It's the same thing.
Oh my God.
March my little 5-year-old butt right out on that high dive.
I couldn't believe it.
Well,
swimming lessons, and you had to jump by 25 feet in
yeah, those are the days when they just threw kids in the pool. Yeah, and I might have to use a thread harness, but let me see. I'm going to see if I can get this in there. I'm going to see if I can. I waxed the end. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. It's in. Okay. So Emily, you're going to talk me through this. I start spinning, right? I'm going to spin. Doesn't matter which way. Yes. Look it. This is so awesome. I'm going to just keep spinning. I'm just going to sit here and string these beads all day.
It's working.
Yeah, of course it is. Come on. Emily's probably a little bit better at it than I am. You kind of have to curve the needle, right? But that centrifugal force just kind of puts everything on there. Look at that. So good. I'm going to do a few more.
Very rewarding.
It is super rewarding. I've got a few of these beads that are falling out of the thing. I'm trying to show you under the camera and do this all at the same time. But Michelle is saying that she finds the battery-powered bead spinner to be too noisy. Yeah, I did too. They sent us one to try out, and I'm like, you know, I am not that feeble that I can't just, spin this thing. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. You really have to get this needle at exactly the right angle, but just putting a few on at a time is fine. I've got a lot on here. I'm going to do a few more passes. Whoops, these when the needle spins, my beads kind of fall out of the bowl. But look at that. All right. This is pretty fun. So I've got a whole bunch here. Let me do one more. Whoops. A lot of beads fell out, but that's why I'm doing it on a tray too. They'll stay in the tray. Just a couple more. One more. All right. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the battery powder would be good for people with arthritis, but for sure. But, you could also do this like that, right? So, I don't know. I like that it's not noisy. But yeah, it's definitely the bomb. Yeah. And Kimberly, Crawford, I would say yes. Keep this out. I'm going to keep mine out, and just use it. It's really fun. It just really makes me want to just string these beads a lot. So super fun. All right. And you're going to use this when Emily's going to teach you the Christmas tree. We're doing that Christmas tree in July. This is going to be a really important tool for you for that. So if you have one, get it out and start practicing. If you don't, we have them here at Beadshop. If you're watching this and everybody's bought one, and we've run out, don't worry, we get them in all the time. So put your name on the notification list if we're out of stock, and it'll come back into stock real quick. Debbie, I would keep the beads in the bowl. I think hopefully Emily has some tips on that, because you could see mine flew all over the place. All right, let me take that out of the picture and let's add some strands of beads to these right here. I just love these. I love the color of these 10-aughts. I think they're really pretty. I think there's, I don't know, 6 different colors, maybe 8. The listing is on the monthly mix page, but they're really gorgeous and reflective. There's also a picture of one of the costumes from the stage show that Janice actually took her inspiration from, which was cool. So I'm going to pull this down here because I want to keep this needle on, I guess. Well, it wasn't that hard to string. I'm not going to worry about it, right? It doesn't matter, especially when it was waxed, right? So it's okay. With all of that spinning, though, the needle has gotten twisted around a little bit, but I'm just going to take it off because this should be enough for one earring. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out the length for my tassel. Okay. And I'm going to say maybe 1.5 inches. Let me see. If that's the beginning of my earring, yeah, I think the tassel is going to be about 1.5 inches, right? Or thereabouts. Okay, because I don't want them to all be the same length either. So for my first one, I'm going to cut some of this thread away. Now for my first one, I'm going to slide a bead down. And I am going to, so it's a stopper, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to tie a knot around that bead. Okay, so it's not going to go anywhere. Okay. Then I'm going to slide down. Whoops, sorry. Didn't mean to hit the camera. There we go. I'm going to slide down the amount of beads for one dangle. That looks about right. There. Then I'm going to get, it doesn't even have to be equal amount. I'm going to slide some down like that. That looks like it's about equal-ish. Maybe I'll slide just a couple more. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this away. I'm not going to tie a knot here yet. I just want a stopper to keep the beads from falling off the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to maybe try and find the middle, what I think is the middle, which is about like that. And I'm going to start in the center. I'm just going to loop that through, and I'm going to do just like a little lark's head, right? Where I put this one through, though I could knot them on too, but I want to see how this holds. That end and that end. And then I slide everything up because I just want thread around the center here. Yeah, maybe I'll just tie it. I really thought this lark's head trick would work. I'm going to try it one more time. I don't think I've got enough. Maybe if I did it this way. Hang on. Because the lark's head, let me show you what I'm thinking. If I tie a lark's head knot where it comes over and it hangs, sorry, I'm out of focus. And it hangs from that little bottom section, I think they're going to hang nice and straight. Whereas if I tied a knot underneath, they're going to kind of splay out, I think. So that's what I'm thinking. So, but I need a little more of this thread there. So let me try this again. I'm going to come in. I'm not going to tie a knot yet. I'm just going to make a little stopper. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to slide a bunch of beads down. And I'm going to slide about 3 inches of beads. Okay. Thereabouts. About like that much. Okay. Then I'm going to slide those all the way back, and I'm going to give myself a bunch of thread, right? Because I need a lot of thread to get it through. And then I slide one of those beads, or I can just use a wayward bead here and make a stopper. And it's going through the bead and then back through the bead in the same direction. Okay. I'm going to slide it up a little bit so it doesn't fall off the end. Now, I've got a lot of thread here to work with. Okay, so I'm going to pull everything to the center like this. Split those strands in half about right there. Let them fall down to the bottom. Now, see, I've got plenty of room to get those through. See that? That's better. Don't you think? That little tiny one was too tiny. And so there we go. In order to make it stay, like I don't want it to move around or come unlooped, maybe I'll tie an overhand knot there. And this is all kind of designing, figuring it out. But I think that lark's head will keep it nice and straight. Now I'm going to slide these guys up. And I'm going to put the slider up here and tie a knot around it so it won't come off. And I'll add a little bit of Zap glue, maybe right there. And I'll do the same thing here. And I want to slide these beads fairly close to the top. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on up there, like with chain and stuff. So I don't know that it needs to be super tight. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to come in And I'm going to leave a little bit of thread tail there, just for now. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and tie this other one on just to see what it looks like. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to find the middle. That's about the middle, because I may not need all this rigmarole. Right, let me slide this bead down so I've got more room. And I'm just going to tie it on. And I think maybe I only need 3 of these, so I've got 6 dangles. I don't know. I'm going to do these on here, and then I'm going to start adding some chain. It is kind of hard to get this knot, though, right? Because the beads are wanting to get in the way. Let me see. Those can go down like, oh, no, this was never meant to be. That strand was no good. All right, let me go back to what I was doing here. I think that's the way to do it, right? So let me come in. You need a good length of tail there so it doesn't fall out when it's the stopper like it did on that one. So, and you've got plenty of thread to work with here because I'm working off the spool. There, that is. Then let me get this. I'm a little out of focus again. Sorry about that. Now this one, see how since the leg of that one is a little higher up, maybe I want it to go a little bit higher, maybe about right there. What's that length? It's about 1.5 inches worth of beads. I need another 1.5 inches. About like that. Give yourself a lot of extra thread. Do a little stopper. That wasn't the best cut. There we go. That's better. Put that stopper bead on. And we go through. And now I'm going to attach it to that leg. Yeah, I think any mix, Heather, I think the eggnog mix, that was a really pretty one. I don't see why you couldn't. I think you can use whatever it is you like, right? So here's this. I'm folding it in half. I'm bringing the loop through. Gives me a nice big loop. I'll bring these tails through. And now we'll tighten it up. And then I will tie that little knot below just so it sits nicely. Okay. Let me slide this down. I've got a little more room to tie here. And just a little overhand knot to get it to stay. Then, since I have the stopper beads on, I can move that bottom bead and tighten everything up. There's my knot. Push it right up there. And tighten that up. Now I'm going to slide the stopper up like that. You don't want it to be too tight, right? If it's too tight, these delicas are going to hang really stiffly next to each other. So let it have a little bit of room. Come in, tie a knot. And we can add some GS hypo to that later, which I will, just not right now. Slide that stopper up and tie the knot. Okay. So now I've got 2 tassels here. And yeah, you can see that knot. I want this to lie on this side of the lotus. Let me see if I can move it. And you know, there's going to be chain and stuff on here too. So I'm not going to worry about it too much, but there we go. That's where I want it to sit. Where are my thread snips? There they are. You could even like stitch a little picot or something on the end of this. You could add a drop to the end. Doesn't matter. But here are those. Okay. Then let me add the last one. And I'm just going to use this length. Whatever it is, I'll measure it, take it off afterwards. So let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You need about 12 inches of beads per earring strung, at least for what I'm doing here. Okay. This is Ceylon heather that I've got here, but you could use, I think you could use any thread. Doesn't matter, really. These beads are so light. KO would work. I probably wouldn't use Fireline. I think Fireline's a little too wiry, maybe. Come on. There we go. But I think you could use, this is micro Ceylon right here. And choose whatever color you like. Okay, so those bead stoppers are there. Find the center of the beads that are left on here. Slide everything down. Do a lark's head. See, with more thread, it's a lot easier to do that. Slide it through. Tighten it down. I'm going to pull it into the inside right here, and I'm going to tie a knot underneath. Okay. Good to know, Michelle, about those quick change trays. Maybe we'll add some before the Christmas in July project. I think they're just like little liners, right, for the bowl. Might make it a little easier to deal with them. There we go. Tighten that down. Slide this end up and compare it. So see, this is a lot longer. So I'm going to say, make sure everything's sitting right. I'm going to say, I'm going to go to about right there on this one leg. And yeah, you could use Eslon, use whatever works, right? Whatever color you like, you know, it's really fine. You could probably even use silk, though silk might be a little thick if you use like the F. But if you have thinner silk, that might work too. Slide it up, tie the knot. Like that. Get it nice and tight. And I don't know, I'll tie one more just for fun. Then I'm going to get this leg. Needs to be about that long. Slide everything else off. Go through the bead so it's a bead stopper. And then tie your knot. Now we're going to add some chain. Though you could add more beads. You could, I don't know, this is just kind of a little jumping off idea for you to play around with, because I know you've got mixes. And I think it's a great way to use the monthly mix too. All right, let me zoom back a little bit, okay? Let me see, I'm going to go here. There we are. Okay. So let me clip away this one. This one. Let me lay it out. Let me add a little bit of glue. I might as well right now. But look at how fun those tassels look on the end. KO would also be super drapey for this. So I would say yes. I literally used this seal-on because it was sitting here next to me as I turned on the camera. So, but yeah, you decide what works out for you. Let me see if I can get this open. My GS seems to have glued itself closed. There we go. Yeah. You know, my GS looks just like yours. It's got the spare glue off of there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm just going to add, whoops, this is starting to drip a little too much. Let's see if I can work fast. Get a little bit of that GS in there. There we go. And I'll let that sit. Yeah, I like the knotted ends too. Same, Cindy. Let me put the lid back in the glue. That's a trick that I do. I get the lid back in the glue like this. And then there's usually a little glue that's come out. So I'll wipe it. And then I'll put that on. And I try and store it upright. So now let's go ahead and cut some chain. Let me change courses here. This would also make a really terrific pendant, I think, too. I'm going to start with this lantern chain. I was going to do a bunch of different chains, but this 2 lanterns I like quite a bit. And let me make sure I've got my I've got these round jump rings, but I also have some of the ovals, which are really what I think I want. So hang on, where did they go? I was carrying them around. I brought them over here. Because these here, these 5mm, those are 18 gauge. Here we go. The ovals are 20 gauge. Oh, thanks. The ovals are 20. I think that's the right one. Okay, let me go pull out just a little bit here, zoom out. Okay. I think I'm just going to do these in singles. And I think I'm going to cut this one at that chain link. right there, and I'm going to hook it through the loop that's in the part of the chain right here. Okay. So there's that. Let me get my pliers. I'm going to use a 90-degree and a chisel nose. I've got my oval jump rings. I'm going to put this on. And you know what? I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to put it right there where there's nothing in that one. Okay. Now let me come in. I'm going to cut it again about right here. Now I could line up all of this chain, be really, really, methodical about the lengths of this chain and stuff, but I'm not going to worry about it. I can write it a little bit after everything is on here, but I think that these look better without being super uniform across the board. These are great pliers, the chisel nose and the 45-degree or the 90-degree bent nose. They're perfect for jump rings, for opening and closing. We have both of these on the website. I love them. They're by Xuron, an American-made product. It's fantastic. So see here, I've got 2 on there. I think I need 2 more chains, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I just need that. Maybe I just need those 2. Do I need... Is that too big? I think that's too big. I don't think that looks great. I'm going to put that aside. Let me add another one. Do I need one? Maybe I need one at the end. One more on each of the ends. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to cut both of these at the same time just to save time. So let me cut these right here. Yeah, the Xuron are really great. I'm also using the Xuron Maxi Shear here. This is the Xuron, the 90-degree is this one. And this is the 90-degree bent nose. And then this one, I think this is the chisel nose. Yeah, this is the chisel. See, it looks like that. Really nice. Okay. And you use whatever chain you like. I grabbed this lantern. But you use whatever works, or no chain, or whatever. Or you can wire wrap some beads too. I think this really kind of lends itself to whatever it is you like. So
yeah, I'd like lots of beads on that with that binding. Lots of strands.
I can use more strands too.
Well, you know.
I mean, just you decide what you like. I think it's a good jumping off point. Get that one closed. There we go. And then get this other one. And then we'll see what it looks like on. You can't really tell what an earring looks like, honestly, until you slide it on. But let's do this. Oops. It goes right in there. Grab it. Really close it up. There we go. Now you can decide some things about the top too. Okay. Like we could add a bead up here. I don't know. First I'm going to put an ear wire on it and then I'm going to see what it looks like. You could also reverse it and have it go this way and have things going down that way. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we think.
What is that, Lotus? What is that called?
Open Lotus Link.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it's a pretty one. This, I think we can attach, though I think it's going to want more swing. I know that's not right. So what I need is, I think I need a bigger jump ring is what I need. Let me see. And then we'll decide. Maybe we'll add something else that dangles. I don't know. Let me see. This is brass. Here's silver. So in the jump rings, I think I just want, I don't want anything too fancy. Here's that size. Let me see. Let me see how 2 jump rings look. I'm going to use this oval. I'm going to connect that oval to that ear wire and to that round ring. And I'm going to close it up. Then I'm going to open this round ring. Slide that on. Okay. So what I have looks like this. Let me see here. Let me put it on. Yeah, I mean, you could turn the lotus. I wanted a lot of fringe going down this way, but if you like the look of less fringe, I would reverse it. Maybe do beaded fringe and no chain. You know, whatever works. Let me see what it looks like. Yeah, fine line might work too. I'm going to put this on. Let's see. I can't see myself, but let me put myself up here. How does it look on? Doesn't look too bad on.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
Yeah. I don't mind it. And it's pretty light. Right? I kind of like it. What we could also do, I've got some pearls just kind of sitting here.
One of the things I really like about this is that, like, that earring you're wearing is a little too long for me, but I could just make the strands a little shorter.
You can make it definitely shorter. Yeah, for sure.
Like that. Yeah.
For sure. And it has a lot of movement. Right? Right? A lot of movement.
And I love the colors.
Yeah, I do like the colors. So see how it's just kind of how it's kind of hanging there. We could refine it a little bit. So here's this. I could wire wrap a pearl like on the, whoops, sorry. I could wire wrap a pearl and dangle because I've got a lot of real estate here in the front of this. Let me see if I've got a head pin.
Have any blue pearls?
Maybe. I don't know. Just use whatever you have in your stash.
Oh, that looks good. White looks good.
I like the white with it. I need my head pin box. Hang on, everybody. Keep looking at that. It's a good time to take a screenshot.
Those are interesting shoes you're wearing.
Thanks. They're comfy. What the heck? I'm just gonna have to get that page. I had a bin with all my head pins, and where they are, I could not tell you. But watch, I'm going to do this, and then it's not really going to work. But let's see. Let's see what we've got. I will do some silver ones. Hang on. I think I just need thin ones like 24 gauge here. Sorry, I'm ruffling through my head pins trying to find the right ones. There they are. All right. Now, I could also, with this chain, let me get these. I've got some 3mm fire polish here too. 4mm fire polish. These might be the fuchsia ones. I'm not sure. They were just sitting here. I think they might be that fuchsia, those new ones we got in not that long ago. So I'm going to make some dangles, just small ones. We have in our skill builders how to do the loops. This is just a rosary loop, really. Let's see if I can get that closed. God, I'm not very good at making loops anymore. See down there for a little more movement? See where I'm going with it? Let me keep going. I need 4, right? And then maybe 1 for the top as well. So 1, 2, 3, and then I've got that other one done already. 4. Let me cut these and loop them. The loops I want to be pretty small. These are the 24 gauge, 1.5 inch head pins. If you need a brush up on how to do your loops, we've got some great skill builders. I'm just using my rosary plier. I'm using the cutter in the rosary plier right there. And looping it up and over the top, right at the tip of the plier. I want a nice small loop. I don't need a big loop for this one. Okay. And let me open these up. Let me get the chisel nose. Do that. Look for the side that's open. Lift it. Get that lantern. I think we need to add some chain. They discontinued a couple on us, but it might be time to add some chain. Maybe I want my smaller bent chain. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't know. So many products. So little capital. But we'll get them. We'll get them. I think chain, a little more chain would be fun. I think some finer chains. I was looking at our chain collection. We've got a lot of big chain, which I love. Don't get me wrong. But I think we need a few more tiny chains with some design to them. It'll go on one of my never-ending lists. There we go. And now this last one. We were talking about this chain manufacturer. You know, we've been buying from this chain manufacturer for, I don't know, 30 years. Long time. Long time. And my buddy Abby Berta, she also buys from them. And when we were talking about the Great Bead Extravaganza yesterday, we were lamenting about jump rings and the loss of Tiara Cast and the Tiara Cast jump rings. But we were talking about how much we love this chain vendor, and she has been wearing one of the silver chains from them, silver plate like this, right? Like this plating. She's been wearing it solid for 2 years. 2 years. And it's still as bright and shiny as the day she put it on. So that's really a great tester there for that. I'm going to put on one more of these here, and I'm going to put on a pearl. I'm going to see how that looks. It might junk it up a little bit too much, but let me see what it looks like. Cut, go, and roll over the top. That's the cool thing about earrings is once you've figured out your first one, right? Once you've got your first one in the bag, the second one goes so much faster. And sometimes when you're making your first earring, there's a lot of like things that you want to change around and stuff like that. So just kind of stick with it. If it doesn't work, just take it off and try something else. All right, let's see. That's not bad. I don't love this though. I feel like it looks a little awkward. Right? Or maybe, you know what it needs? I think it's just not sitting nice. I think it needs a jump ring. I don't think it needs to go right onto that ring. So let me take that off. Add it to an oval. Let me close this and then I'll scoop it with the oval ring. Okay, here we go. And open that up. Close it, or add it to the round length right there. Now we'll close it, and now we'll see what it looks like. Make sure it's closed from all sides. Yeah, see, just the inclusion of that jump ring makes that hang so much better. I'm going to try just the pearl, though, because I feel maybe the pearl will look better. Yeah. Let me put one of these on. I could also maybe, hang on, let me get a pearl on here. Let me just make a pearl dangle. And loop it.
So I see that there's somebody on in the chat. It's called Oliver the cat.
Yes.
Is that little Oliver?
No, that is not our cat. It is a different Oliver the cat. But yes, we too have a little Ollie.
But he doesn't know how to text.
No, he doesn't. I was thinking if I put a center chain down, I could put a pearl in the middle. Right? Yeah, maybe no. Maybe I'll just take this off. I don't know, because it does kind of hide the lotus too, right? But the beauty is when you make this, you can just do whatever works for you. I think that might be the best. I could add some pearls at the bottom here, but maybe that's just literally gilding the lily. But you could also do some more pearls up there. I'm going to put it on again.
I thought you were going to put, did you try the pearl between the lotus and the ear wire?
Not to dangle, no. I could put that on a head pin or an eye pin. Yeah, I like seeing the lotus too. And I like these little fire polish at the end. I think it gives it some polish, some literal polish.
I do too.
at the bottom. What do you guys think? So let me talk you through what I used again, and you can decide, what works for you. I hope you try this out. We also have this Lotus link in a little bit of a smaller one. We also have different links, right? You could use different rounds, different things that you liked. But let me go over what this is, okay, what I've got in here. And then you can make your choices. I will go ahead and put this up as a project so you can kind of play around with it. But essentially, friends, what you need is, let me get my little pointer. Yeah, I think seeing the lotus is better. I think I was trying to build the lily a little bit with those pearls. But I like that the fire polish gives it a little bit of grounding here at the back. Okay, here at the bottom. So this is the Lotus link, and you can use that Lotus either way, right? Up or down. This is the Priscilla Cannot Delica mix. It's the monthly mix for June. You can use any of the monthly mixes. I think also if the monthly mix, you could mix these beads up a little bit too, right? Whatever works. But again, I used Priscilla, the monthly mix for June. This is the 2 lanterns chain, but you could use any chain that you like. We have a variety of chains in a variety of different colors and finishes, right? Then what we've got here is, this is the large, I think this is the 6mm jump ring. And then we've got the 3.5mm jump rings there. And I've got the micro Ceylon in Capri. That's also a good idea, Margaret. We can take the coil and the ball off of that ear wire and put a Delica and a fire polish on up here. That would look really great. That would bring this this bead up into the body of the piece. And I think this 4mm is about the same length as that ball and coil, right? Or you could make your own ear wire too. That would work out really nicely. Let me zoom out, zoom
Does
in.
the Lotus come in other colors?
Yeah, it comes in the copper and the gold too. Yeah, those, Kim, unfortunately, those ear wires where you can add the beads, those went by the wayside when Tiara Cast went by the wayside, which was a real bummer. Those were some of my favorites. This fire polish, I think, is the fuchsia. Let me tell you what it is. Hold, please, and I will tell you. Let me look on the front end. Actually, it will be faster. It's a 4mm, and I think the 4mm is the right size for it. I'm going to go to 4mm, and I'm going to search. Yeah, it's fuchsia luster. 4mm fuchsia luster. I'm going to grab the link right now. There we go. Yeah, I think the lantern chain adds a lot. Yeah, I loved those ear wires that Tiara Cast used to sell. They were just plain ear wires, and then they were just a plain long stem at the bottom, and you could put your own beads and stuff on the bottom there. They were really great. But yeah, those went by the wayside, unfortunately, when we lost Tiara Cast. That and all of those jump rings, man, that was nuts. Okay, so that's it. I hope that gave you some inspiration. I don't know. The cool thing about it is that I love that everybody had an opinion about where to put the pearl, to add the pearl, to not have the pearl, to add chain, not add chain, add more chain, add less chain. The cool thing about a project like this is it is perfectly adaptable to whatever it is that floats your boat on it, right? So I hope this was inspirational. It was fun. Not too bad by flying by the seat of my pants. I did want to show you the Malaga. We do those are going out. I will have some more up. We'll have like, I don't know, maybe 10 left over or so, 10 or 15 left over that I'm going to put up after all of these have been mailed out. So on Friday, you'll see two things in the newsletter. You're going to see the pre-sale for our next color collection. It's going to be 12 tubes of the soft-sided rectangles in size 8, A-dot. The colorways are gorgeous. It's a perfect collection. We don't carry the triangles, so it'll be a fun way for you to try these out. And then I'll also put up any leftover, if we have an overage of these, those will go in too. And when these are gone, they'll be gone. We won't be reordering it in this configuration. So that's it. That's all. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. Gwenda, they're all calling you the Den Mom, so I love it.
I think I'm just one of the girls.
Oh, okay. Just one of the girls. Either or. It was fun. Yeah, that's my story. There's a couple of questions here. The links, yeah, Debbie, this is a really good question. If you're watching the live stream, especially on YouTube, that's where to watch it. If you, what do I want to say? Go and enable all comments, right? If you go to all comments and you click it, you'll see as the video goes, you'll see all of the comments show up on the sides. What we also do is our buddy Ellen, who works so hard, she goes in and she, after the broadcast, and sometimes it takes a little time, like a week or so, you can see everything that I use. It's time-stamped, and then they're linked in the description. So check on some older descriptions from older videos. You'll see all of that information there. Okay. There's a couple other questions here. Oh, turnaround time on orders is about 3 business days. I think we're filling, we might be a little bit longer now because Miranda's out. I think we're filling like the 28th. So it's usually 3 to 5. If there's 2 things though, and we're really trying to stay on that because I know you want your orders. We are the smallest of small businesses. It's me, Chris, and Miranda filling those orders. I'm telling you, and my mom right now with the Malaga. But if you're like, oh my gosh, I need something and I needed it like yesterday, make your order and then you can put in the order notes. But the fastest way is to email us at info@beadshop.com. Let me get that up. Info, I know it's here somewhere. Our email here. Info@beadshop.com. And this one says congratulations, but I'll just say you can see it right here. Info@beadshop.com. And let us know, hey, can you get this order out fast? I need it for a project or whatever. Okay, so we'll be really happy to do it and push it to the top of the queue. Also, if you don't want to do any emailing, what we do is in the morning, some of you do choose expedited shipping with priority mail. So I go in the mornings and we do print out priority orders. And we pull those to the top and we fill those out. We fill those. So if you want to pay, right, for priority shipping, those automatically, if they come in a little bit later in the day, they'll get printed the next business day. And if you make it on Friday, they won't get printed and shipped until Monday. Okay. But communication here, my friends, is the key. Okay, so don't hesitate to shoot us an email over at info@beadshop. With Miranda gone this week, I'm slightly behind, but I'm almost caught up. So don't hesitate to shoot us those emails over, because communication is the best way to do it. And someone asked in the chat about our coffee. I don't usually do this during the week. I do this on Saturday stitch-ins, but at the very top of our YouTube channel, if you do love what we do with all of this free information, there's a space there for you to go to coffee.com/beadshop and leave a little tip. It's certainly not required. We're just thankful that you're here and that you share these videos and you keep getting the word out. But if you do want to send us a little something, it goes right into our beadshop account, and we certainly appreciate it. Appreciate. Because we have over 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel. It's crazy. I'm going to be going into, I don't know, my 10th year or something of doing these live broadcasts. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we love doing it, and we love inspiring you to be creative. If you can share this out, all of that, we appreciate you so much. All right, that's it. I will see you on Friday. Check your newsletters. Emily, another big thank you for helping us out. Ooh, I really ran over today. Sorry about that. But yeah, talk to you on Friday. Thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.